for Civil Services. In this video, we will see NCERT Class 9 Geography Chapter 5, and we have already covered all the chapters of NCERT from Class 6 to Class 8. And in the coming days, we are going to cover NCERT from Class 6 to Class 12 for Geography, History, Polity, and Economy. So, in this chapter, we will discuss some of the very important points, and the chapter name is Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. And in this chapter, there is a lot of discussion about natural vegetation and wildlife that is present in India is discussed. And first of all, we need to see what do you mean by natural vegetation? What is the definition of natural vegetation? See, natural vegetation means the vegetation which it refers to actually plant community which has grown naturally without any support of human and has been left undisturbed by the humans for a longer time. So if any vegetation is left undisturbed and it is growing by its natural process, then it is known as natural vegetation. It is also known as virgin vegetation, and that is why the various cultivated crops and the agricultural lands and the fruits and orchards, they don't form the part of natural vegetation. They actually form the part of vegetation, but they don't come under natural vegetation. So natural vegetation means vegetation or plant which grow naturally without any support from any type of human or any type of human activity. And this virgin vegetation, these which are purely Indian, they are known as endemic. So endemic means desi term, and endemic or indigenous term, these are all are synonymous terms. And these are the indigenous species, and but uh, these some come from the outside are known as exotic. So whatever plant which grow in India which comes from the outside of India is known as exotic, and whatever is indigenous, whatever is from the India is known as endemic. So this is difference between endemic and exotic. And our country is India is one of the, it is not 12, actually there are 17 biodiverse countries in the world, and India is one of the 17 mega biodiverse country of the world. See, uh, it, the world has around 200 countries, but these 17 countries lie at the equator, and most of the biodiversity, that is most of the plants and animal diversity, is found in only in these 17 countries, and India is one of them. India has about 47,000 plant species, and that is why India occupies 10th place in the world and 4th place in Asia. And there are also about 15,000 flowering plants in India, and that account for 6% of the world's total number of flowering plants. India is also having many non-flowering plants such as ferns, algae, and fungi. And India is also having around 90,000 species of animals, as well as rich variety of fish in fresh and marine waters. Now this very basic term, that is flora and fauna. Flora is used to denote the plants of a particular region or period. Okay, so flora means plant and fauna means animal kingdom. So very as simple as that. Flora fauna means first comes the plant, so that is why flora means plant and fauna means animal. Now there are diversity of flora and fauna present in various parts of the country is because of the various factors. So the most important factors are, first is the relief. The two components, that is the land and soil, comes under the relief. So land actually affect the natural vegetation directly or indirectly because of the various types of conditions, because of the nature of land. It actually influences the type of vegetation, because if the fertile land is there, then it is generally devoted to agriculture, so there won't be any land left for the plants and other fauna or animal species to be living there. So that is why the undulating and rough terrain are the areas where grasslands and woodland develop, and they give shelter to variety of wildlife. So first most important factor which affects the diversity of flora and fauna is relief, and relief having two components. um, First component is land and the second is soil. So these two factors, land and soil, they actually they actually affect the biodiversity. Second factor is soil. Soil also varies over space, and different type of soils provide basis for different type of vegetation. For example, the sandy soils of the desert support cactus and thorny bushes, while wet, marshy, and deltaic soil supports mangroves and deltaic vegetation. So that is why this is the reason for the various type of vegetation, various type of plants. And the most important factor is climate and various components like temperature, rainfall. These are the most important components for the vegetation. And the character and extent of vegetation are mainly determined by the temperature along with humidity in the air, or you can say the rainfall, and then precipitation and soil. And on the slopes of Himalaya and hills of Peninsula, above the height of 915 meter, the fall in the temperature affects the type of vegetation and its growth. And that is why it is generally said that in Himalaya, as you start reaching above the Himalaya, and as soon as you are going to cover more and more altitude, the extent of vegetation will be changes, and it changes from the tropical in the lower areas and or in the southern part of Himalayas to subtropicals in more higher areas, and then alpine vegetation, then tundra vegetation also in the various heights in the peak of the Himalayas. And these are the temperature characteristic of the vegetation zones. There are four vegetation zones, and all of these are found in the Himalaya. First is the tropical. See, India is most of the part of the India is tropical, and the tropical is the vegetation zone, and the mean annual average temperature is in tropical is about 24 degrees Celsius, and in January it reaches up to about 18 degree. And the special property is that no frost is being observed in the tropical region. Then subtropical, the annual average temperature reaches from 17 to 24 degrees Celsius, and frost is very rare. Then temperate means the temperature of around 7 degree to 17 degrees Celsius, and mean temperature may reach up to minus 10 degrees Celsius, and it shows some of the frost and some snow. And then alpine vegetation is also found in some of the Himalayan parts of India, and average temperature found in alpine region is about 7 degrees Celsius, and general snow occurs in the Himalayan parts in the alpine regions. Now, another factor which affects the vegetation type and biodiversity is the photo period or sunlight period. The variation in duration of sunlight at different places is due to the differences in latitude, then altitude, and season and duration of the day. And this is very important fact that because of the longer duration of sunlight, trees grows faster in the summer. Now this is the question that why are the southern slopes in Himalaya region covered with thick vegetation covered as compared to the northern slopes of the same hills. See, in the southern slopes, there are plains and there are a lot of water, rivers are present, and that is why a lot of fertile soils are also present. So, because of all these factors, that is the soil, fertile soil, then water is also there, then rainfall is also happens in the southern parts, and they are also having plain areas. So that is why they are having thick coverage of vegetation. But in that, as soon as you go up to the northern slope of the same hills, you know a snowfall will occur. That is, snowfall will actually hinder the growth of vegetation. So this is the reason that why the southern slope is in Himalaya region covered with a thick slope. Now, precipitation, it is the most important factor in deciding the vegetation of any country. In India also, it is the most important factors. Two factors are very important: temperature and precipitation. And if you see the condition of India, almost all the rainfall is brought in the southwest monsoon, that is advancing southwest monsoon from June to September months, and some rain in the retreating northeast monsoon from December to January. And areas of which having heavy rainfall have more dense vegetation as compared to other areas which are having less rainfall. So that is why areas which are having more than 200 centimeter rainfall, like Western Ghats, then some parts of Northeast and Andaman and Nicobar, they are having the dense, uh, very dense vegetation. And this is discussed. This is there is a question that why have the western slopes of the Western Ghats covered with thick forest and not eastern slopes? Because of the same reason, because western slopes are having most of the rainfall, and as soon as the the southwest monsoon go to the eastern slopes, their all the moisture capacity has been decreased, and there is no very much very less rainfall in the eastern region. That is why the western slopes of Western Ghats are covered with the thick forest because of the heavy rainfall. And this is discussed about the role of the forest, because they play a major role in enhancing the quality of environment. Then they modify local climate, they control soil erosion, regulate stream flow, supports a variety of industries, provide livelihood for many communities, and also offer panoramic or scenic view for creation. They also control wind force and temperature and causes rainfall. They provide humus to the soil and shelter to the wildlife. And it is said that India's natural vegetation has undergone many changes because of the growing demand for land, then because of the development of various polluting industries and mining and urbanization and overgrazing of the pastures. Now, it is generally said that the vegetation cover which is left in India is no more, natural in the real sense, except in some inaccessible regions like the Himalayas, because most of the natural vegetation has been cut out because of the growing demands of Indian people. Now, this is a very important fact that according to Indian State of Forest report, actually one more report has come. Now the forest cover in India is around 22%. Now this is very important term, ecosystem. Ecosystem means whenever the plant or animals or any type of living beings, they live harmony, they live in harmony, and they are interdependent and interrelated to each other in their physical environment for transfer of material, for transfer of energy. So they are said to be living in a ecosystem, and that is why they form a ecosystem. Human beings are also an integral part of the ecosystem, and human actually they utilize the vegetation and wildlife, but because of the greed of human beings, uh, because of the overutilization of the resources of ecosystem, forest resources, natural vegetation, human beings are continuously cutting the trees and killing the animals, and that is why they are creating ecological imbalance, and as a result some of the plants and animals have reached the verge of extinction. You might have heard about the various type of uh, list red list prepared by some of the agencies, And this is the fact that a very large ecosystem on land having distinct type of vegetation and animal life is known as biome. So biome is only related to the land ecosystems, and biomes are identified on the basis of the plants. Now there are major five type of vegetation is found in our country. First is tropical evergreen forest, means their trees always remain look like evergreen. Their leaves fall, but in every because of the heavy rainfall they always look like evergreen. Then all this means five vegetation have been classified on the basis of the rainfall and the amount of the sunlight. So first we will see the tropical evergreen forest. These forests are restricted to heavy rainfall, and they are present in the Western Ghats and islands of Lakshadweep, Andaman and Nicobar, and in some parts of the upper parts of the Assam and Tamil Nadu coast. Tamil Nadu coast is the only region where retreating monsoon uh, you know put a lot of rainfall, and that is why in the summer month, November and the summer month, a heavy rainfall occurred in the Tamil Nadu. And this is the graph depicting various type of in natural vegetation present in India. First is the tropical evergreen. You can see that this is the area that tropical evergreen forest is occupied on the Western Ghats, then on the Tamil Nadu coast, then on the Andaman and Nicobar Island, then some parts of the Assam and also some of the parts of the northeast. Then second most important vegetation present in India is tropical deciduous, and it is actually found in most of the parts of India. You can see that this tropical deciduous forest, it covers the major part of the vegetation of India. And then third vegetation is montane forest. It actually it is actually this mountain forest is found in the Himalaya region and mountainous parts of Himalayas and in the eastern Himalayas also. Then mangrove forest, they are found on the coast of the Ganga, then and Godavari, Krishna, and various other coasts of eastern flowing rivers. And the most famous Sundari, Sundarban Delta on the merger of the Ganga and Brahmaputra is also a mangrove forest. Then tropical thorn forests, they are found in the you know rain shadow region of the Western Ghats and also in the Western India, Northwest India, in the parts of Gujarat, Rajasthan. Now we were discussing about the tropical evergreen forest. We have discussed that these are found in the Western Ghats and island of Lakshadweep, Andaman and Nicobar, and upper parts of Assam and Tamil Nadu coast. And these tropical evergreen forests, they are having rainfall of more than 200 centimeter, and they are having very short dry season. That is why they always look green. That is why they are known as tropical evergreen forest. And the trees here can reach greater heights up to 60 meter or even above. And this region is very warm and wet throughout the year, and it has a luxuriant vegetation of all kinds like trees, shrubs and creepers, so giving it a multi-layered structure. And there is no definite time for trees to shed their leaves, and that is why these forests appear green all the year around. And please remember the very important trees of this tropical evergreen forest. The name of some of the trees are ebony, then mahogany, then rosewood, then rubber and kinkuna. So there are four or five very important, very important commercially also trees present in the tropical evergreen forest are the ebony, then mahogany, then rosewood, then rubber and cinchona. And there are various animals found also in these type of forests. The very common animals are elephants, monkey, lemur, and deer. Then the one-horned rhinoceros are also found in the jungles of Assam and West Bengal. And besides these animals, plenty of birds, bats, sloth, and scorpions and snails are also found in these jungles. Then second major vegetation found in India is tropical deciduous. And I have told you that these are the most widespread forest of India, and majority of the Indian vegetation is covered by these tropical deciduous forest. This question has also been asked in the UPSC, and this tropical deciduous forest, they are also known as monsoon forest because they get all the rainfall in the monsoon season, and they spread over the region, and their rainfall, they receive rainfall between 200 centimeter to 70 centimeter, and the trees of these forest types shed their leaves for about 6 to 8 weeks in dry summer to conserve water. And that is why in these period when their tree shed leaves, they look like the only the uh, tree without leaves. And on the basis of availability of water, these forests can be further be divided into moist and dry deciduous. The forests which receive rainfall between 200 to 100 centimeter, they are known as tropical deciduous moist forest. And these forests are found in the eastern part of the country, in the northeastern states along the foothills of the Himalayas, and in the Jharkhand, then West Odisha and Chhattisgarh, and also on the eastern slopes of the Western Ghats. And some of the very important species of the tropical deciduous moist forest are teak, then bamboo, then sal, sesame, then sandalwood, and khair, kusum, arjun, mulberry. So these are some of the very important, commercial species of the tropical deciduous moist forest. Then the second type of forest are known as the dry deciduous, tropical dry deciduous forest, and they are having rainfall between 100 centimeter and 70 centimeter. And these forests are found in the rainier parts of the peninsular plateau and plains of Bihar and UP. And there are open stretch, and so the most important species of the tropical dry deciduous forest are teak, sal, peepal, and neem. Please note that sandalwood is not in this list. So sandalwood is actually a species of tropical moist deciduous forest with the rainfall between 200 centimeter and 100 centimeter. Now, the common animals which are found in this tropical deciduous forest are lion, tiger, pig, deer, and elephant, and also a huge variety of birds, lizard, snakes, and tortoise are also are found there. The third type of vegetation in India is known as thorn forest and shrubs. Here, rainfall with less than 70 centimeter occurs in this region, and the natural vegetation consists of thorny trees and bushes. And this type of vegetation is found in the northwest part of the country, in the semi-arid areas of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, UP, and Haryana. And the most important species of thorn forest and scrubs are acacias and palms, euphorbias, and cacti. And the trees are scattered and have long roots penetrating deep into the soil in order to get moisture. And stems of these type of trees are succulent to conserve water. Leaves are mostly thick and small to minimize evaporation, and these forests give way to thorn forest and scrubs in the arid areas. So these thorn forest and scrubs, the design of the leaves are made in a way to conserve water to minimize evaporation. So these two are the main aims. Now, the eight common animals found in the thorn forest and shrubs are the mice, rats, rabbits, fox, wolf, tiger, lion, wildlife, horses, and camels. Then the fourth vegetation found in the India is montane forest, and it is generally said that in the mountain areas, all type of vegetations from tropical to subtropical to temperate to alpine to tundra, all type of vegetations are found in the montane forest. And in mountainous areas, the decrease in temperature with increasing latitudes leads to the corresponding change in the natural vegetation, and that is why there is a succession of natural vegetation belts in the same order as we see from tropical to the tundra. I've already told you, like the wet temperate type of forests are found between the height of 1000 to 2000 meter. Then evergreen broadleaf trees such as oaks and chestnut predominate in this wet temperate region. Then between the 1500 and 3000 meter temperate forests containing coniferous trees like pine, deodar, silver fir, spruce and cedar are found, and these forests cover mostly the southern slopes of the Himalaya and places having high altitudes in the southern and northeast India. Then if you go at the more higher elevations, then you will find temperate grasslands, and at high latitudes, generally more than 3600 meters above the sea level, temperate forest as well as grasslands will be converted to the alpine vegetations. So in the higher land, higher altitudes, you will start seeing the alpine vegetations, and even if you go more higher, then you will be finding the tundra also. And in the alpine vegetation, silver fir, then junipers, pines, and birches are the common trees. And if you get, and how, and then they get progressively stunted as they approach towards the snow line. And ultimately, through shrubs and scrubs, they merge into the alpine grasslands, and these are used extensively for the grazing by nomadic tribes like Gujar and Bakarwalas, and at the higher latitudes, mosses and lichens form the parts of tundra vegetation. So, in the montane forest, you can find every type of vegetations as you move up, up side the mountainous areas. You will find, the vegetation changing from the tropical, then subtropical, then temperate, then alpine, and then even up to very high elevations you can find tundra. And very common elements, very common animals which are found in these forests are Kashmir stag, spotted deer, then white sheep, jackrabbit, Tibetan antelope, and then york, then snow leopard, then squirrels, shaggy horn, wild ibex, bear, and sometimes you can also find red panda, sheep, and goats with thick hair. Then another type of vegetation found in India's, in coastal areas are the mangrove forest, and the mangrove tidal forest are found in the areas of coast, and they get influenced by the tides, and muds and silt get accumulated on such coast, and dense mangroves are the common varieties with roots of plants submerged underwater, and deltas of many rivers like Ganga, Mahanadi, Krishna, Godavari, Kaveri are covered by such vegetation. And in the Ganga Brahmaputra delta, sundari trees are found, and that is why they give formation of the Sundarban delta, and it also provide durable hard timber, then palm, coconut, and various type of species. Then Royal Bengal tiger is the very famous animal living in the Sundarban areas, and various other water these uh, like turtles, crocodiles, gharials and snakes are also found in these forests, and various type of medicinal plants are also found in India, and India is known for its herbs and species from the ancient times. And around 2000 plants have been described in Ayurveda, and at least 500 are still in use. And that is why the World Conservation Union's Red List has named 352 medicinal plants of and 352 medicinal plants, and out of which 52 are critically threatened and 49 endangered. See, this World Conservation Union Red List actually name those type of plants which are either critically threatened or which are endangered or which are vulnerable, so as to find the ways to save them. And various type of commonly used plants in India, like sarpaganda, it used to treat blood pressure, and it is found only in India. Then jamun, the juice from ripe food, is used to prepare vinegar, which is carminative and diuretic and has various digestive properties. Then arjun, the fresh juice of leaves, is a cure for earache. And then babool leaves are used as a cure for eye sores. Then neem has high antibiotic and antibacterial properties. Then tulsi plants. Tulsi is very useful for curing cough and cold. Then kachnar is used to cure asthma and ulcers. So these are some of the vegetations found in India. Major types of vegetations found in India. Major types of actually flora and flora found in the India. Now we'll see the fauna. Uh, India is also very rich in wildlife, and it is having approximately 90,000 animal species, about 2,000 of birds. It means that India is constituting 13% of the world's total bird, and there are about 2,546 species of fish, which accounts for the 12% of the world's stock. And it also shares between 5 to 8% of the world's amphibians, reptiles, and mammals. And elephant are the most majestic and largest mammals. They are found in the forest of wet forest of Assam, Karnataka, and Kerala. Then one-horned rhinoceros are other animals. They live in swampy and marshy lands of Assam and West Bengal. Then arid regions of Rann and Kutch and Thar Desert are the habitat of wildlife and camels. And Indian bison, then nilgai, chosinga, or four-horned antelope, then gazelle, and different species of deer are other animals found in India. And India is also having a lot of species of monkey. So India is, and this is a very important fact, that India is the only country in the world that has both tigers and lions. And the natural habitat of the Indian lions is the Gir forest in the Gujarat, and tigers are found in the various states and in the forest of MP, Uttarakhand, Sundarban, Himalaya region, and also in various other parts of India like Karnataka. And leopards too are the member of the cat family. They are important among the animals of prey. And this is very important, that Wildlife Protection Act has been implemented in 1972 in India to protect all the wildlife of India. And the Himalaya region of India is also having a lot of species, a lot of animal species, like the animals which survive in extreme cold, like Ladakh's freezing high altitude, like Tibetan antelope, bharal, then blue sheep, wild sheep, and kyang, that is Tibetan wild ass. And furthermore, the ibex, bear, snow leopard, and sometimes even very rare red panda are found in the certain pockets. And in the rivers, lakes, and coastal areas of the India, various type of turtles, crocodiles, and gharials can be found. This map is depicting some of the wildlife reserves of India. Wildlife reserves, these are the national parks, wildlife reserves, wildlife sanctuary, bird sanctuary. These are made to protect wildlife of India and to protect them from hunting, poaching, and to give them an environment to live. And bird life is also in India is very colorful. Peacocks, pheasants, then ducks, parakeets, cranes, and pigeons are some of the birds which inhabit the forest and wetland of our country. And see, we have selected our crops from a very biodiverse environment, that is from the reserve of edible plants. And we have experimented and selected many medicinal plants. And animals were also selected from large stock provided by nature as milch animal. Milch means the milk producing animals. They are provided as drought power, then transportation, meat, eggs, milk. Fish provide us nutritive food. Many insects, uh, they help in the pollination of the crops and fruit trees, and they exert biological controls on such insects. So every species, has a role to play in the ecosystem, and that is why their conservation is essential. But because of the excessive exploitation of the plants and animal resources by human beings, because of the overuse, because of the greedy nature of human beings, the ecosystem has been disturbed. That is why about 1300 plant species are endangered and 20 species are extinct, and quite a few animal species are also endangered and some have become extinct also. The major causes for this major threat to the nature or to the flora and fauna of any country are the hunting, poaching, and the second threat is pollution because of the chemical and industrial waste, then acid deposits, then introduction of alien species. So these are the and also the reckless cutting of the forest, because forest is their natural place to live. So because of this, the habitat fragmentation is also taking place. So these are some of the major threats like poaching, hunting, pollution, then introduction of exotic or alien species, then deforestation, habitat fragmentation. So to protect the flora and fauna of the country, Government of India has taken many various steps. Government of India has actually set up, this is not 14, actually Government of India has set up 18 biosphere reserves in the country to protect flora and fauna, and not four, actually 9 out of these 18 are in the have been included in the world's network of biosphere reserve. We will see all the 18 biosphere reserves and 9 which are included in the world's man and biosphere reserve in the next video. And this is they talked about the migratory birds in India because of the winter season. If winter season in the Russia, in the Siberia region, these birds, because of the extreme cold there, they migrate to other places like in India. They come to this place, Gulf of Ran of Kutch, and at this place desert merges with the sea. So that is why flamingo birds came here. And there are 18 biosphere bioreserves in India. Please remember this. We will discuss all the 18 bioreserves in next video. And then government has started giving financial and technical assistance uh, to provide to make many botanical gardens also. Government has also started various projects like Project Tiger, then Project Rhino, then Project Great Indian Bustard, many other economical, eco development projects have been introduced, and around 102 national parks and more than 500 wildlife sanctuary and zoological garden have been set up to take care of this natural heritage. So this is the conclusion of this chapter. I will discuss some of the very important points, and in the next video we will discuss all the exercises, all the question and answer of this chapter. We can see the objective questions Like to which one of the following types of vegetation does rubber belong to? Rubber belong to tropical evergreen. So option will be D. Then cinchona trees are found in the areas of the rainfall. We have seen that cinchona trees are found in the tropical evergreen. So obviously it would be more than 200 centimeter, but only option is given 100 centimeters. So option would be A. Then in which of the following state is the Simplipal bioreserve? Simplipal is located in the Odisha region. Then which one of the following bioreserve of India is not included in the World Network? See, World Network of Reserve Bioreserve have 9 out of 18 India's biosphere reserve, and out of this list, Manas is not present actually. So option of 4 will be A. And all these questions we will discuss in the next video. In the next video, we will discuss about 18 biosphere reserve and then 9 you know mm, 9 in the list of world conservation bioreserve and all the other questions and answer. So please like, share and subscribe our channel Study for Civil Resources for more updates. Thank you for listening.